Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're looking at FN compressors and their work delivering integrated technical solutions nationwide. Every single time you walk into a perfectly climate-controlled skyscraper or, say, trust the results of a highly sensitive medical test, you're actually relying on a massive web of hidden technical systems. Today, we're going to unpack the mechanics behind those operations to really understand the sheer scale of the invisible infrastructure that's literally powering our country.
So what is the invisible force powering industry? It's a fascinating question, right? Because we're always so captivated by the final product, the shiny new building, the finished car, but none of it, absolutely zero, exists without the hidden engine driving it. Companies like FN Compressors, they don't just supply equipment off a shelf, they build the absolute foundational infrastructure. We're talking air compressors, heavy-duty HVAC systems, and commercial refrigeration. That is the very backbone, keeping modern commercial enterprises from just grinding to a halt.
Okay, let's dive into this and look at the scale of integration, specifically with massive mixed-use developments. Ground-up construction on this macro scale is, well, it's a logistical beast. You absolutely cannot rely on piecemeal, band-aid solutions here. It requires a unified technical partner to lay down what is essentially a vast technological nervous system, taking these raw, sprawling concrete shells and actually bringing them to life. Now contrast that raw construction site with the finished product, a pristine, modern atrium. Maintaining a space this massive, it requires immense power. But you don't see it. Behind those sleek walls, you've got meticulously integrated HVAC solutions working completely silently to manage the air quality, the temperature, the overall energy efficiency. It is pretty much the textbook definition of seamless, invisible infrastructure.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the pivot from multi-acre architecture down to absolute microscopic precision. Let's look at hyper-precise medical laboratories. In this environment, there is exactly zero margin for error. We aren't just trying to keep a waiting room comfortable. We're talking about life-saving diagnostics. This requires hyper-precise environmental control, which proves that top-tier infrastructure isn't just about raw brute power. It's about ultimate control.
For these labs, standard compressed air is literally a hazard. I mean, think about it. A single microscopic drop of oil in the air supply can ruin an entire batch of pharmaceuticals. That's exactly why delivering 100% certified oil-free air is so absolutely crucial. It's the only way to maintain those sterile environments and ensure strict compliance with incredibly tight healthcare regulations. It is, quite literally, the heartbeat of the medical sector. And this brilliantly illustrates FN's commercial versatility. It is striking to see side by side. On one end, you've got heavy-duty pneumatic systems operating massive hydraulic vehicle lifts in a high-performance auto workshop. And then, right next door functionally, you have highly sensitive refrigeration and air purification, keeping a fast-paced commercial kitchen safe and compliant. It's a massive pivot from rugged, heavy metal systems to incredibly delicate food-grade environments. But, just powering the present isn't enough anymore. Through their strategic partnership with Green Air Technology, the focus sharply shifts to sustainability. By integrating cutting-edge energy recovery systems and highly efficient variable-speed compressors, these massive industrial solutions are actually engineered to dramatically lower carbon footprints. It's all about minimizing environmental impact while still delivering maximum power. Let's move to and see how this builds into ensuring long-term reliability. Because honestly, turning the equipment on, that's really only step one. Over time, heavy systems naturally drift, and that's where metrology, the science of measurement, and calibration come into play. These ongoing nationwide accuracy checks are what ensure that a system operating at peak efficiency on day one doesn't somehow become dangerous or inefficient by day 1000. So from raw, sprawling construction sites to hyper-sterile medical labs, the sheer scale and precision of this technology is staggering. You can see FN Compressors' contact details here if you want to dig deeper into their specific nationwide capabilities, but I'll leave you with this thought to ponder. The next time you walk into a perfectly climate-controlled hospital or a towering high-rise, ask yourself, can a major project even afford to be built without this kind of invisible infrastructure working behind the walls to keep it all alive?